Welcome to Puvanur RVIR Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. Welcome to Puvanur RVIR Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. Congratulations to all of you for completing Misra, Jathi, Thalam. We had reviewed in its entirety of all the sequences of how to handle it in different perspectives very extensively. Today I am going to start off with Misra, Jathi, Triputa, Thalam. And before I start this Thala, I will start this class with a Tirukkural. அவ்விய நெஞ்சத்தான் ஆக்கமும் செவ்வியான் கேடும் நினைக்கப்படும். Let's look at the meaning of it. பொறாமையுடையவனிடத்து பொருந்தியுள்ள செல்வமும் பொறாமையற்று செம்மையாக இருப்பவனிடத்திலுள்ள வறுமையும் ஆராய்ந்து அறியப்படும். So, what does Thiruvallur say? A person with jealousy with richness, a person without jealousy with poverty. When both are compared, the person without jealousy with poverty is weighed higher, and that's the inherent meaning what the ruler states. So it's important that you should not have jealousy again. So with this good thought, we'll get into the class. So we're going to handle Misra, Jathi, Triputa, Thalam. Misra, Jathi, again it's 7. Triputa, Thalam. What is the structure of Triputa, Thalam? A lagu and 2 dhrutams. That is the structure of Triputa, Thalam. So in this case, a dhrutam is nothing but 2 beats, which is you hit and turn, that is dhrutam. So 2 dhrutams is 2 into 2 is 4 beats. Misra, Jathi is 7, so 7 plus 4 makes it 11. That's how this Thala is evolved. And now to get to the structure, it's 1 lagu and 2 dhrutams. So I'll show the structure, how you need to put this Misra, Jathi, Triputa, Thalam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the first part, which is Misra, Jathi, 1 lagu of 7 beats. Next is Triputa, Thalam, twice you have to repeat. 8, 9, 10, 11. In total, it is 11 beats. So without a pause, let me tell you the structure. This is the structure by which you can represent Misra, Jathi, Triputa, Thalam. I still vividly remember Shammangudi Srinivas Iyer in Music Academy before he passed away. One of his finest concerts was in Misra, Jathi, Triputa, Thalam, where he sang a Pallavi in Tishanadai, where T.N. Krishnan sir played accompanied violin, and Tiruchi Shankaran on Mridangam, and the legendary Ganjira Vidwan Hari Shankar. It's still available on YouTube. If you guys are interested, you can watch that clippings. Few clippings are available on YouTube. So just to recollect the importance of Misra, Jathi, Triputa, Thalam. So let's get into the first sequence, and I am going to give you different analogies of how we can go about it to build your creativity. How this can be split ideally, since it's a 11 beat cycle, if you can dissect it after the 3 plus 8, it becomes Adi Thalam after the 3. So the first 3 beats, if you can play, and then the rest is all Adi Thalam. So the first approach for Tadindina sequence, the traditional approach would be ta kit taka din din na, ta din din na, ta ta din din na, din din na, ta ta kitta taka din na, ta kitta taka din din na, din din na, ta ta din din na, din din na, ta ta kitta taka din na, ta kitta taka din din na, din din na, ta ta kitta taka din na, din din na, ta ta kitta taka din na, ta din din na, ta ta kitta taka din na tam, ta ta kitta taka din na tam, ta ta kitta taka din na tam. Traditional way of playing, just adding a 3 beats din kitta taka din din na for the first 3 beats, and then it's all Adi Thalam. That is, you can do it for Kidatagadim family, you can do it for Thalangudim family, you can do it for Takatanadim family. But let us look at it little differently. Also, you can do the sequence in a 2-3 varieties. I'm going to explain you taking each family members and doing it little differently. How do we do it? 11, how can we also split as 3 plus 3 plus 3 and then a phrase? 3 beats, 3 beats, 3 beats and then a phrase. If you can do like that, how will it be? Ta kitta taka din din na, din din tata din din na, dhonta kitta taka din din na, kitta din, like that you can actually try to do this phrase. Also for reducing, you can reduce as 5 and a 6 combination. Ta kitta taka din din na, kitta. First part, ta kitta taka din din ta tam. Let me tell it into the beats. Ta kitta taka din din na, ta kitta taka din din ta tam din. Ta kitta taka din din ta din don taka din din ta tam din ta kitta taka din din ta don taka din din ta tam. This is another perspective of reduction. So what we did is 3 beats and then the phrase. This is the vanilla form of doing this tadindina in a different way. How do we reduce? We reduce at 5 and a 6. 5 and a 6 makes it 11. Din kitta taka din din na, that is a 5 beat. Tata kitta taka din din ta tham. You give a pause there, which makes 4 plus 2 6 beats. So that is a way of reduction. Then how to play a tirmanam. Ta kitta taka din din na, donta kitta taka din din ta tam. Kitta taka din din ta, don taka din din ta tam. Kitta taka din din ta, this is another way of playing Tadindina sequence. This is another way of playing Misra Jathi Triputa Thalam. There is another way which we can play is the Misra Jathi. Again 3.5 beats, 3.5 beats. When you do it, thad din na is 3.5 beats. Another thad din na. If you give a pause in between, it will become 4.5 beats, 4.5 beats, adding to 9 beats again. And then last is a phrase. That's a beauty. So how it will come? Tat din na, tat din din, tat tham. Taka din na, taka din din, tat tham. Trangadan, tat din na, tat din din, tat tham. Taka din na, taka din din, tat tham. Tat din na, tat din din, tat tham. Taka din na, taka din din, tat tham. So this is another way of complex way of you can represent in Misra Jathi Triputa Thalam. Taddinna, takadinna, talangadam, talangadam. So this is the third variety of you can express taddindina. The fourth one is really beautiful. The fourth one is progressively I have composed this and I'm very happy to give my creative thoughts to all of you so you can utilize this and be more creative, taking this lead and building more creative structures. What I have done here is 1.5 beat, 2 beats, 2.5 beats, 3 beats, and then the phrase. Like that, I have in a program in a Go Jathi, I have structured this a sequence for Taddindina in Misra Jathi Triputa Thalam. How it happens? 1.5 plus 2 is 3.5 plus 2.5 is 6 plus 3 is 9 beats. For the 9 beats, I have made this beautiful progression. Taddinna, taddindinna, taddin, taddinna, tinkit takadindinna, kadadakadakadimidakadimidakadimida. So that is the beauty. I'm using the math, using the beauty of the progression, using the beauty of musical excellence. I have built the sequence in Misra Jathi Triputa Thalam. So the combination is 1.5 beats, 2 beats, 2.5 beats, 3 beats, adding up to 9 beats, and then the last 2 beats is a phrase. So for the 11 beat cycle, it perfectly fits in a grandeur mathematical way. That's the beauty. So these are all the perspectives of an 11 beat Taddindina sequence can be played in these forms. You can traditionally reduce it with the Adithala Mora, which is 8 beat after the 3 beat. Ding kitta taka din din na, tata kitta taka din na tham, tata kitta taka din na tham, tata kitta taka din na tham. Or if you want to use any of the phrase, you can use any of the phrases. So, what are all the 4 different varieties we saw? The first one is the 3 beats push and then the Adi Thalam combination. The first part. The second one is all three units. 3 beats, 3 beats, 3 beats, and then you play the phrase, which is 9 plus 2. Din kitta taka din din na, din din tata din din na, donta kitta taka din din na, kedadakadim, kedadakadakadimi. And how you reduced it? Din kitta taka din din na, dum kedadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakad taka din din na dum kita kada taka 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 don tak kita taka din din ta tom dum kita kada taka 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 din kita taka din din na. Donkata taka taka tarikata taka tham. Donkata taka taka tarikata taka donkata taka tarikata taka donkata taka tarikata taka dim. That is the second variety. You can play for the entire sequence. So when you take the vanilla, you do the entirety. There's a lot of homework for you. You have to try all the lessons in that form. Then you take 3 units form of Tadindina. Then play all the lessons in that. The next one is a complex combination of Tadinna, Tadindinna. It's a Misra. It's a mix of 3 and 4. It's ups and downs. The crescendos of mountains and valleys. That is Misra Chapel. Tadinna, Tadindinna. In between I introduced a pause. When I introduce a pause, it gives a beauty to it. Tadinna, Tadindinna, Tham. So it becomes 4.5 beats. Takadinna, Takadindin, Tham. Another 4.5 beats. These 4.5 minutes getting combined, it's 9 beats and then the phrase. So this pause gives the beauty and the pause and the phrase gives the aggression. So it's a beautiful combination. So when you're taking a sedate Thalam, like a Misra Jathi Triputa or Sangirma Jathi Triputa, it may not be interesting, but you can use interesting patterns to make it interesting. So that's the beauty of it. You can't play a sedate one for a longer time. Taddin dinna, taddin dinna, taddin dinna, taddin dinna, dinna. That's boring. So that's only for your understanding of the structure. After that, you should go into all these journeys. Okay, so what we have to do? Taddinna, taddin dinna, tam. Takadinna, takadin din, tam. Takatalang, takadimitalang, taddinna, taddin din, tam. Takadinna, takadin din, tam. Takatalang, takadimitalang. I'm giving you a homework how we can reduce this. You can easily reduce. I will give a lead. Taddinna, talang, tam. Takadinna, talang, tam. It's one of the ideas I'm giving you, but you can use it. You can try. I want you to see how you are coming out with an idea. There are multiple ways you can do it, but it should have a structure, it should have a beauty before you present it. First of all, you should register yourself, express yourself, and see whether it is beautiful. That is the variety you can use for all your sequences in Kedatakadim family, Thalangudim family, Takadanadim family, and then you can run it across till the end. The last is a perfect beauty, I think, which I conceptualized to how to arrive at a 9 beat with a progressive math, which is 1.5, 2, 2, 2.5, and 3. Beautifully placed. And then you can also do it reverse way. I will tell both the ways. I want you to try both the ways and also come out with a way of how you can reduce this and how you can actually form it. I'll give 2-3 ideas to you. I want you to work on all these ideas. Taddinna, taddindinna, taddinna, dinkitta takadindinna, takatalang, takadimitalang. Taddinna is taddinna, 1.5 beats. Taddindinna, 2 beats. Taddinna, 2.5 beats. Din kitta takadin dinna, 3 beats. This is the combination. So taddinna, taddindinna, taddinna, din kitta takadin dinna. All these are into it. So 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. And then the 2 beat. Now if you do it a reverse way, dinkitta takadin dinna, taddin taddinna, taddin dinna, taddinna, tagadadam. So you're completely going the reverse way. That is another idea by which you can play the entire sequences. There's a lot of homework for you. Now I'm going to do one more math here. 1.5 and 3 I will combine, and then in between 2 and 2.5 I will combine. When you take the last 2, 1.5 and 3, it adds up to 4.5. In between 2 and 2.5 also adds to 4.5. Again you arrive at 9. So that's again another way of you can represent it. How to represent? Taddinna, dinkitta takadin dinna, dinkitta takadinna, takadin dinna, takatalang, takadidalanga. That's a beautiful way of taking the outer 2 joints and the inner 2 joints and then making it into a beauty of 4.5 beats, and then playing a sequence. So there are so many varieties you can actually play in Taddindina for Misra Jathi Triputa Thalam, and you can conclude with Adithalam Thirmanam. Tak kitta taka din din na, tata kitta taka din tam, tata kitta taka din tam, tata kitta taka din tam. So this is the concept. This class is a very heavy class, but I am opening all your creativity doors. About 5-6 patterns I have taught you, and each one, if you can play, each one you can play for about 15-20 minutes. The first sequence, tad din ting kitta taka din din na, tad din din na, taka din din na, tata din din na, tata kitta taka din na. The second one, ting kitta taka din din na, din din tata din din na, dhunta kitta taka din din na, kitta taka din taka din. Tak din na, tak din din na tam, taka din na, taka din din da tam, taka da. Tak din na, tak din din na, tak din na, ring kitta taka din din na, taka talang da. Tak kitta taka din din na, tak din na, tak din na, tak din na, kitta taka din da. Tak kitta taka din din na, tak din na, tak kitta taka din na, taka din na, taka da. So there's a number of ways you can use the tad din na and express it, play it, and master it. With this, I am ending this class of this sequence, and I'll have a review of how all you have understood all these different varieties. I'll have a review. Each one of you can showcase in each of these sequences whatever I taught, and play one definitive pattern till the end. At least show me that you have understood it right, especially the reduction part of it, and especially the Thirmanam part of it. அழுக்கற்று அகன்றாரும் இல்லை அஃதிலார் பெருக்கத்தின் தீர்ந்தாரும் இல் பொறாமைப்பட்டு புகழோடு புவியில் வாழ்ந்தோரும் இல்லை பொறாமை இல்லாமல் புகழும் பெருமையும் இன்றி வறுமையுற்றோரும் இல்லை. What does Tiruvallur say? A person with jealousy has not lived in a very big way. He cannot reach great heights. Similarly, it's a proof that person without jealousy, though he is in poverty, he is being appreciated by many of them, and he stands tall in the society. That's what Tiruvallur says with this underlying fact, with this good thought, and with a good class for all of you. I'm ending this, and I'll see you in the next class with more sequences in the perspective of how to approach it. Cheers, Pono RV here signing off.